Hello and welcome again. I'm saying this for like the 10th time today, but I'm really not sure how the video is going to go. So if you're new here, welcome to me talking about the right now geography of the world I made for my book series. If you've been watching all the previous videos, welcome back. I'm so glad you can still be excited to hear me yapping about all of this. Where we left off and where I'm hoping to close all this geography, kind of geography. It's not like I've been describing each mountain, rock and river. It's like for you to get a bit more familiar with the world, and I think it's been going great so far. I obviously don't know if someone watched it at all, but for me, talking about it, it makes kind of sense. So let's just move on. Here's the map again that you are probably very familiar with by now, and it's when you look at it you can see the red is taking over. And what I was mentioning before was the empire, and the entire thing, this whole thing, is a part of Haley's empire, or the Empire of Light, or the Southern Empire, depends on the time we're talking about it, because throughout the years and the whole lore kind of things, it changes, but it's still the empire. And even though there are kings and other governments, the whole thing is pretty much overseen by the heirs. And the heirs, I'm definitely going back to them later. What you need to know for now is there was this man, and he was a huge egomaniac, and he decided that not only someone should see over magic, which is their the thing they should be doing for the most part, but he also kind of wanted to own the whole world, and he wanted people to worship him, and I'm the ultimate god and you will obey. Although he did wanted to subdue the world, but he was mainly I need to make this world safe for my kids. And at some point he realized he's not going to be able to do that, so he changed his kids into heirs, his own personal heirs. And some of them are his kids, which the 3 current heirs are his kids, which mean the brothers Stefan, Damien and Jonathan. And then there's Jonathan's daughter Andrea, who kind of joined the big picture later, and she became the 4th heir, or heiress, because the numbers are kind of offset. So Stefan is the 1st heir, Damien is the 2nd heir, then there was Haley's daughter and she's dead, and there's 4th heir, which is actually Jonathan, and his daughter is only referred to as the heiress without numbers or anything. She's just the one. So these 4 people are mainly taking over the world, and they are making sure no one is abusing magic in a world in a way that would completely destroy the world. So they are trying to stop this and stop that. They have their own personal army and all that, but somewhere in the middle of this, we're just going to oversee everything, kind of like gods without being gods, if that makes sense. They decided that they are going to make the land they live in their own kingdom, and they did. And so Zessia was born. when the Aquarius gave up on me. So yeah, Zessia. What I was going to say and what I was talking about is these four, or at the time four again, but there was their sister and now it's Jonathan's daughter, but still the four heirs like kind of decided that the land they live in they kind of want it for themselves. And when you look at the capital of the whole thing, its name is Naar, and it serves as the only reminder then that there was someone before the heirs and everything after was erased, or like everything from the time before was erased. And so the legend has it that, or like the only thing that stayed in the people's mind is there was a guy and his name was Naar, and he used to rule the kingdom before someone came and robbed him of his crown, his people, everything. And the only thing like the people know is at the center of the city there is a statue, but the statue is like really worn, and like you can see the face was kind of removed, and so it's some sort of an old king, but no one really knows what he looked like. And the only like thing on the plaque is like this is Naar or something like that, because it would be in the old language. And so yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that's left, plus the name Naar. So whenever you like go and study the history there, it's like this is the only thing. Everything after or everything before, we just erased it and made it ours. And that's pretty much how the whole country and the islands around it go. So you can see like from Naar, when you go up, there's nothing on the map. And the purpose of that is there will be only like cities, and like I said before, there are temples and things the heirs deem necessary. So there will be libraries, scientific centers, and everything they want. Plus there would be military academies and like the barracks and everything, something they need to keep the empire running. So pretty much the whole things would be just little cities, bigger cities, and things they need. Storages probably, plus some like fields with crops. But the whole thing was just artificially I don't want to say erased, but like take a natural country and like make it yours. So this is what they did. Then when you go like closer to Naar, you can see there is the mountain range we've been talking about before. On the northern part there's also the city of Alrein that I will get to in a bit, or I'll just probably put it somewhere in here like what is Alrein described as. The thing is it's more important in the successor, and the city like there's, yeah, let's not go for spoilers, it's just important. I thought one of the fish just tried to escape the aquarium, but probably. So you know Alrein, then there's Oakford. You can also see like this A symbols which symbolizes the power. There are the academies, also one is in Atran, but in the other sun it's not that there yet, and in the successor it's like mentioned it's being built, but it's also not there yet. So that's like future stuff. And then when you go like to the lower part, the southern part of the borders with Naar, you can like see again this like strange symbol, and that represents the Battle of Plukas. So again Naar just tried to get their hands on a more land, and they wanted to like share their view of the world, and it didn't really work out. They lost, but you know, people died there, and there's this huge monument, and it's mentioned a couple of times throughout the books, but the battle itself isn't there, or not yet, maybe in some memory. And again, you can see there's like a lot of ports, so in case something happens, we have ports. And on the other side there's Talteron, again important city throughout the books, like it's mentioned a couple of times. In the book after Successor, the characters actually visit Talteron, and it's Academy City. So again, it's based around scientific discoveries, educating the mages, educating the masses, and educating the people of the entire empire. Because what they want, or like what the heirs want, is for people to understand that their way is the best way, and as long as they're going to like follow the laws and they aren't going to play with dangerous magic, everything will be fine. The heirs are happily going to finance everything, and they're gonna make the world a better place. Like if you decide to disobey, you will be obliterated. And that's like the other part why you can see it's not really like full of, I don't know, it's not full of forests or something. It's because there's a lot of military bases and like training grounds and all of that, because the heirs pride on having army ready whenever they need it. And they also have like 3 main parts of the army, and it's like the southern one, the eastern one, yeah, it should be eastern, and the northern one, depending on who they think they will be fighting with. So the two, like the southern and eastern, that's like easy, it's their neighbors. The southern one is mainly based around Nerkam, and it's there if someone tries to take Nerkam by force, then they will be obliterated, or that is their plan. But it's not like grim or something. The country is usually described as very beautiful. It's full of landmarks. The big cities are made of white stones because the heirs love white color, because it, you know, symbolizes their light and purity and everything they aspire to. And so it's like a huge thing, and they want everything to be pretty, ideally adorned with gold or like intertwined with magic, so you can like see this is ours, we build it, and you can usually tell very well. But what's the next thing is Are. And when you look at Are, it's like another port city. But why is it important? Because Emmet will be later based there. So that's just again for people who are already familiar with it. So this is where Emmet is, and it's kind of like pretty far from Nerkam and the other main characters. Also you can see Parlase, which is Jonathan's personal manor, and the islands are mostly like these small vacation islands that people are using. There are some these like cryptic symbols. I will also get to it later. For now, it's important for you to know that there's where the people of the world get their crystals. And so Lford is this place where the second heir decided to build his casino, and it was like place full of people very similar to Trascan, so they were really free in spirit, and they were like, you know, we have this little piece of land and that's everything we need. And he basically came there and showed them his light, and they were like very interested to put it mildly. Again, it's later explained in the books, but they just decided to follow the light to the letter. And so whenever people are coming there, they are pretty much asked, even though they're in casino, to follow the path of light, and they really aren't given a choice. So you either follow it or you are banned from Lford. And so yeah, it's a huge island, it's really beautiful, and there's like pretty much everything you ever dream of is on that island, or if it isn't there, the heirs are going to make sure it's there. So if you like wanted to, I don't know, walk among the stars, or whatever is the English saying, this is the place where you can do it. Or you like wanted to experience something like drugs, alcohol, some sort of pleasure, that's where you go, and you will get it there in a legal way, because on Lford everything is permitted pretty much. And that's how the heirs control the people, and how they pretty much keep them in line, because it's like, well, you wanted to do this, but that's why we have Lford, so you should either visit the island or not do it. And that gives them pretty much the leverage to punish the people later if they, you know, overstep some boundaries with magic or anything. And also they can kill freely on Lford, like anyone. The heirs, not other people, but the heirs, since it's like their island and it's very specified, or like rooted in the lore and in people's mind that this is their island. It's their island and they are going to be doing whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't work like that on the mainland and in Zessia. And the last part is Merohenia, that I think we should like talk about in a separate video, because that whole thing is kind of crazy. But when you look at it, there's so many of the same symbols, which means this is the main part where the people get the crystals. And what the crystals are used for is like these little shards you can actually store someone's magic in, which is the illegal way, or you can get the magic from like your surroundings, the nature and something like that, and as long as it's like plant or just the ground, it's not considered illegal, and it's just like a power cell pretty much that you can keep and take with you and use later. So that's where they are getting this. And also like the huge part is Kusi, that was kind of like ripped out of the heir's hands, I'd say, and later there are of course problems. But yeah, also one thing, there is like this huge water whirl, something like that, like the spinny thing you can get lost in with your ship. So part of the world is kind of, or part of the island is inaccessible from the south because of it, and again it's because of magic, but I think we can get to that later. Now just taking a look at all of this, the parts of like Atran and Zessia are the most inhabited. The Nerkam area, or the city of Nerkam, would have like alone around 10 million of people, so it's like really huge, and the whole country is incredibly crowded. Same goes for Atran, which the tune would be like a bit smaller, but like compared to the people living there, but still really huge. So like, I don't know, 7 million or something, which is pretty much the whole Czech Republic just in one city. So yeah, it's kind of incredible, and there's a lot of problems again because of this, but mainly the heirs and the royal families, they're like, it is what it is, and the people like the common folk are more concerned about it. And then Treasko, it's couple of tribes, but again it's huge tribes, so the entire country would have like, I don't know, 10 or 15 million people, but just scattered all around the country. And Naar would be the smallest, but let's not mention how many people live there, because it's kind of a spoiler. So yeah, let's just leave that to your imagination. How many people do you think could crowd in there? You can of course let me know. And that's like the basics. It's not really it's not really just about the geography. It's like the main place where it takes place. Amazing. It's just the main descriptions of the country that the story takes place in, and later of course we can add more if you want to. So, you know, thank you for watching, thank you for bearing with me and like watching this entire thing, just being interested in the book and like the whole world. It's like so, I don't want to say, I don't know what I want to say. It's like really strange because for such a long time the whole world was just in my head, and now it's like kind of becoming real thanks to you and, you know, all the people watching and reading the thing, and also of course the people that play the D&D campaign before. So just a huge thank you, and we'll see where we get from this. So thank you, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully.